Liwa Pueblo, and all the American Indian and Indigenous peoples and communities who have become a part of these lands and territories in Texas here on Turtle Island.
All right, thank you so much. The what? It's muted? Yeah, I think we're good now. Are you? I'll have to share screen here. Okay. Give us one moment. We're still sorting out technical stuff. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, so I yeah, I like that. There's a forward path at night. I like that every meeting. And every meeting that runs late, you take 1 minute off that. Kevin, I gotta know the verbal.
Hold on.
Somebody write that.
I'll make you co-host and you'll share screen. No. I can't quite read.
After 7:05, the meeting starts. 1 minute.
Share your screen.
All discussion.
All right, we're good. So sorry for that. All right, we got everything sorted. We're gonna get there eventually. We're gonna get there. I'm so sorry. First roll call. If everyone can please fill out first roll call for attendance. Also confirming people on Zoom, you can hear it, right? Anyone can verbally say that?
Here's a precedent.
Yes, we can hear.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a quorum. We'll move forward. Approval of the minutes. The chair recommends a motion to approve the April 5th and September 6th minutes. Is there a second? Is there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Next slide. All right, I would like to welcome our special guest who is in charge of sustainability here, Director Jim Walker. He'll be talking about issues related to sustainability, so please give him your undivided attention. Slides.
Over here.
Over, yeah.
All right, thank you for having me. Jim Walker, I'm the Director of Sustainability. In the Office of Sustainability, got a few slides I'll run through real quick. Then can answer some questions. I want to thank Braxton Cannon for inviting us here. We've been working a lot with him for the last few years. Next slide. Big slide. So, a little bit of the history, just this is always a good kind of reference point here. A lot of people don't know that our power plant in the middle of campus started in 1930. That's when we went to natural gas. We have since for the last 90 years become a international leader in district energy and efficiency with natural gas combined heat and power. A lot of our sustainability ethic and efficiency goals stem from that root. So, and I like to start with that to always be able to pull back on UT Austin has some really strong roots in efficiency and sustainability. Then this gives you kind of a lot of the other rundown of the recent history. UTSG was very instrumental in the campus sustainability policy in 2008, in the campus master plan, in the sustainability master plan in 2016. That was also really a moment for UTSG. And then this charge from President Hartzell on emissions, which I'll touch on again later. Students Fighting Climate Change, the student org, and UTSG, I know, has passed several resolutions in recent years on emissions. They can't hear me. Oh, turn it off. So we do, UT Austin have a pretty strong history with sustainability, and I think we have a lot that we can build on going forward. Next. And UTSG has been a thread through all that. The President's Sustainability Steering Committee was started 2007. It is led by two deans currently, Dean Mora and Dean Addington. There are some faculty, associate vice presidents on that. There's a undergraduate representative and a graduate student. Grad students, the UTSG representative, and I'm blanking on the graduate council one. Now, the student voice is very present at the highest level of sustainability policy making here at UT. Next. So the Office of Sustainability was started in 2010. We collaborate across colleges, across operations, across auxiliaries like athletics and housing and dining. We are not constrained to any one corner of the university. The major programs are the Steering Committee, Campus Environmental Center, which is utenvironment.org. They have a lot of big programs. Microfarm, you may have heard of Trash to Treasure, which helps with door move out. We do the Green Fund, which you all pay into, which is designated tuition. It's $500,000 a year. It's a competitive grant program internal to the campus. Students, staff, and faculty can apply to that. UTSG, we collaborated with SG several times over the years on Green Fund projects. SG was instrumental in getting President Benves to advocate to the Board of Regents to continue the Green Fund back when it sunsetted about 4 years ago. And the Climate Leaders Program was recently funded by the President of the University Budget Council to conduct greenhouse gas emissions inventories for colleges at the college level. We're very excited about that. I can talk more about that later. Next. We do have a sustainability master plan for campus. It was passed and approved in 2016. There are several major goal areas. Some of those we reached, some we didn't. We learned from, some are ongoing, but that document exists and is online. And again, thanks to the SG for supporting that when it happened. Next. Some of the things that, as we were looking at updating that sustainability plan, there was some major changes, right? When you do planning and you do strategic work, you have to look at what context has changed over time. So climate change has only become more of a topic, more urgent, both from a science point of view, but also from a behavior and emotional point of view, especially with young people. A lot of research shows that. Academic demand for sustainability courses with environmental justice angles, social equity angles, more real climate conversations. That's just been an organic increase. We're very excited to see that new degrees coming. There's a new BS in sustainable energy with engineering. There's a new degree in Macomb, a new minor. Very exciting. DEI issues. Social equity is part of sustainability. It always has been, but sustainability over the years, over the decades, has become a very white movement. So I think when George Floyd was murdered and when there's a lot of introspection there, the sustainability slice of society kind of looked in the mirror and said, we have a lot of work to do to be real about what DEI means within sustainability work. I don't think we're there yet on this campus, but we're working in that direction. And that's a very deep context change that we don't want to lose as other things come into the news cycle, if that makes sense. We want to hold on to centering DEI work. COVID, public health, that's an ongoing thing. We don't talk about it as much, but it's still there. And then mobility, how we get around, how you all get back and forth to campus. 20,000 students live in West Campus that walk or bike over. We need to pay more attention to that. Rail is coming to Austin finally. So in the next couple of years, how people commute to, if you have to live far away, that's the only thing you can afford, how you get here will be dramatically different. That's a very big sustainability conversation that we should be talking more about. Next. So as we were updating the sustainability plan, we wanted to connect with the UT strategic plan that President Hartzell rolled out, very value driven, have a lot of engagement. We had new goal areas. I'm only going to talk about emissions tonight. Next. And I'm only going to talk about the recent kind of timeline. This is what ties into why we wanted to be here tonight. So in last fall, 2021, Students Fighting Climate Change and other work led President Hartzell put out a letter to recharge the President's Steering Committee with coming up with an emissions framework. That was very positive to have a new president weigh in on that. Next. So in the spring, we did a lot of work with students on the President's Sustainability Steering Committee. And it's these two big issues that are drivers of sustainability in every scale is growth, right? Population growth, space growth. UT is clearly building stuff all the time. That just increases the sustainability challenge for the campus. And a broader equity conversation. How UT fits within the city of Austin is an issue that I don't know that we've talked about as much. The precursors work on East Mall and some of the other projects going on are headed in that direction. And as we talk about emissions, we need to talk about some of the overlaps there, right? They're not as clear sometimes when you first start talking about it, but they are there. As a reference point for that conversation, the city of Austin recently adopted the Austin Climate Equity Plan. It's also online and easy to find. So there's a lot of ways to put a lens of equity on emissions. Next. So over the summer, we talked about how do we dovetail emissions work, campus climate change work with the strategic plan. And that's what we want to do. We want to kind of identify the strategy. It's not rocket science. There's a lot of strategies already out there developed. You just need to choose to do them. Then how do we really identify the learning opportunities that the strategic plan focuses on and the research opportunities? So that was now headed into fall next. This is where we want to come and start reaching out and having conversations. So we would love to come and talk to your student boards, your college departments. We'll be reaching out to department chairs and deans. There's another 60 slides here where we can go through the actual greenhouse gas inventory, what the strategies are that some are more appropriate or feasible for UT, some are a real stretch, but not impossible. We just have to choose to do them. Next. So fall. So this is where we're at now, right? So please invite us to come and present, and have a conversation a little bit deeper than what this is, wherever you think that would be beneficial. And then we'll also be meeting with subject matter experts. We have a lot of highly technical and trained and expert staff. There's a lot of faculty in almost every college. Sustainability has a meaning and a definition in every college. It's different in every college, but it's there. We want to draw on those faculty. We want to draw on grad students and undergrads. You're bringing the actual passion and energy to do something rather than kind of just skits, which is what a lot of guys, but administrators didn't want to say. So then we look forward. Our goal, next slide, is by next spring to actually have a document we can pull forward to the administration with some actual concrete things to move forward with within the campus master plan and with ongoing communication. So I will, and then the rest of these get into what our actual footprint is. So the orange here are what we call scope 1, that's the energy from campus. So this is what the cost of the lights and moving water around football games. The yellow is what we buy from Austin Energy. So that a lot of that is Pickle Research Campus. And all the rest is what we call scope 3, which is recycling, it's wastewater, it's sewage, it's commuting, right? How many of you take the bus versus drive a car alone? All that stuff, air travel. Next. This is our trend. You can see the pandemic drop off in 2020, 21, but we've done pretty well here. Again, this is our history, our deep root of efficiency. Even as we've added millions of square feet of space, the Dell Medical School came online, the new engineering buildings came online, and we held pretty steady. It's good. Next. Supply chain is another, it's a big emerging topic that we do a lot better in. It's an order of magnitude bigger. This is all the stuff we buy, right? The $2 billion UT budget. This is how that breaks down. And we can look at emissions impacts of everything we buy. Next. And those are opportunities, like where we buy stuff, is opportunities for policy and resolution for UTSG. So I'll just say that we'd be happy to come back late in the fall or early in the spring to report our progress. Love support of SG at any point along the way, and I'll stop there and see if there's any questions.
Thank you so much. The speaker will claim the remainder of the time. Are there any questions for the guest speaker? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, back to this. All right. Next slide. No, that's all right. Is it? Okay. All right. Sorry. So we'll now move forward with open forum. We have a couple of people. First up is Vice President Agbasi. One time. Whenever y'all are ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zion James, the Administrative Director. Sorry, I'm trying to introduce myself. That's our list. The point that we're here for, over this past weekend, the situation with Leah Haynes was a situation that we had to handle. And it wasn't really more of something that was in our control. It was just as student government, why would we not say anything, why would we not do anything? So we're just here to present to you some things that we're doing and we're currently working on, so that you all know that we're doing and we're hoping to support them. So on Sunday, we released a statement saying that we are deeply saddened by the distress completely upon the family and friends of the Haynes, all lessons at UT. Black response by UTP also media and other Christian university channels, except for our issue of student safety, especially the safety of students and marginalized identities. UT Student Government is actively looking into the situation and leaving our platforms up with student concerns to upper administration. Be sure to check back the student government for future opportunities to engage with, discuss, and improve the issue. Next thing that we're doing, we're reaching out to the family currently to get a response to see how we can better assist them to go accountable for the situation.
And just to throw out more longer term things outside of this, something that we do have within our control is that we appoint people to the UTPD oversight committee, and we do get an increased amount of appointees to that. I believe we have about 6 or 7 people that we can appoint to that. So something that we plan to do already, but especially like the situations, to make sure that we're appointing people who can advocate for students, and it allows for students to feel more safe going forward, especially when instances like this are in front of people's minds. Additionally, want to make sure that we're reaching out to Black organizations on campus to make sure that they're essential in this conversation, especially since it's something that this perpetuates the ongoing relationship between Black students and UTPD.
All right, thank you so much. The speaker will claim the remainder of their time. We'll now move into Q&A. Are there any questions for the members? Representative Weiss.
Representative Weiss, Communications. I'm curious, how are you going to appoint the people for the UTPD group? Hello.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I kept cutting out. What is the application like?
For that, what we plan to do is do outreach to advocacy organizations, as well as just publicize it on the UTSG page, just to make sure that we're reaching a wide range of people, both on our social media and through direct outreach, just to make sure that it gets across as much area on campus as possible.
Representative Weiss.
Follow-up question, sorry. Can you be on that if you're part of the assembly?
Yes, you can. Just like any other external appointment that we have, we've appointed reps that can be on this committee as well.
Representative Bailey.
Hi. Thank you for meeting over the weekend and being so quick with your response. My question is, how quick is your turnaround going to be given the current situation and the urgency of wanting to get those appointments made as quickly as possible while still holding the fair application process?
Yeah, and for that, we actually have a document that we created with this and many other longer term advocacy priorities that we're going to release in the Slack. And that has dates for when we plan on completing the item. But for this, even though obviously it is a quick turnaround, it's not something we want to rush. We're not going to say like in a week's time we're going to have 7 people. So probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, just to make sure it's done the right way. Since there is no appointment seat, it's going to be for a year.
Representative.
Also, the doc actually is already public. It's on the exec board minutes. And I was also going to add, we're also planning to reach out to Senate and Graduate Student Assembly. And there have been rumorings that campus safety ad hoc between the legislative student organizations is going to make a comeback, because that was something Representative Holman and Nancy Mina, who's the current vice president of Senate, worked on last year. So there's rumors that will also come back. We would love to have reps on that as well.
Representative Treson.
Introduce that UI. Did the advocacy director want to add anything to this conversation?
Hey guys, I wanted to finish talking about some of our longer term goals. The first of which is to compile resources for people to self-advocate. There's kind of a lot of feelings that come up having this event be so widely published. And we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to kind of advocate for themselves and have their own feelings heard about it. We also want to look into reattaching the SureWalk, which kind of went beyond the student government agency and still having a lot of student input in that and possibly expanding it or making it work better for students. So yeah, those are definitely things that we're looking into.
Representative Greenwald.
What can be done to help informally? And if you have suggestions, just as a comment, can you put them in the slide?
What can be done to help informally? Like Izzy said, we're currently collecting resources. So I would say, like, this is like a question that I would ask you personally, like, besides the police, like, let's say if any of us in this room are going to school, who would you go to? Like, what resources do you know?
In terms of,
Like, what resource do you know besides the police? Like, let's say I went missing, and you had to like find a resource. Like, what would you like besides the police? Like, who would you call? Who would you reach out to?
I mean, I'd probably reach out to my old office from this summer because I work at the OHS office of human trafficking. So like there's former like patrol agents who are there and homeland agents who have further resources.
Yes. So that's an amazing answer. The thing about that is that how many people in here, how many people knew that we can have a resource like that? Raise your hand. Right, no, it's okay. No, so that's like kind of the thing. I think our thing is we're trying to make you more aware, and that's amazing. Like we need resources just like that, so we know, because this situation, if y'all know, like it could have been handled better. Like yes, the police may have followed protocol if that's the case, but there should be another backup resource if they can't assist the situation at a time like that. So I think that's perfect. What we just really need is the use of resources and making sure that we're assessing to students. I think the main reason why we want to use resources is because it really, like, honestly, it affects a lot of Black students feel like, okay, university doesn't care, but I saw a lot of the non-Black students say, this is a student, and y'all did. I maybe find out somebody posted a statement on that Saturday night. So that's the issue. I think it became a whole campus issue.
Sorry, but they came right here as well.
Sorry.
Are there any motions on the floor?
motion to let the ministers point.
Okay. The chair will plan the remainder of time. Thank you so much. Our next guest speaker is Adrian, Representative Tucson.
Hi, everyone. As some of you may know, Kevin and I were appointed by Vice President and the President to sit on the C1 Admission and Registration Committee, which is basically just a committee under a subcommittee under the Faculty Council that gets to advise different departments around campus on procedures regarding admissions and registration. So in the spirit of transparency, we just want to come up and share some updates. We met with the committee for the first time last week. We elected Dr. Maria Franklin to serve as our chair of that and scheduled our committee meetings to be on the first Thursday of each month at 3:30 p.m. Our committee this semester is working on finding alternative pathways for admissions and trying to find different pathways for students to attend UT, specifically in untraditional ways. So we're potentially considering expanding like the CAT and PACE programs.
Hey y'all, some things that we went over in our first meeting was things like establishing that UT is officially considered as a certain institution, other things regarding DEI, admissions such as SB 175, and top 10% rule, top 6% rule, and again untraditional pathways to entry UT such as PACE and CAP. Adrian and I were appointed to be student government representatives, and we're currently doing research regarding ways to research and data and stuff, and looking at other schools, how they've handled joint project ways or untraditional methods to have people come to the school. And again, our next meeting is October 6th. So if you guys have any suggestions regarding any comments that you guys feel that would help regarding our committee, that would be very helpful. Please reach out to us. Yeah, any other? No, that's it.
All right, the speaker claimed the remainder of time. Thank you so much. Are there any questions for the representatives? Financial Director Wayne.
Financial Director Wynn, Executive Board. As always, thank you, Adrian, for all the work you do on campus. So did you guys take any like notes for this meeting, or will you guys continue moving forward, and where can we access those?
Yeah.
Yeah, the executive board or the executive alliance asked us to submit a form with that information, so we already publicized.
the report form.
Yeah. So the information will be publicized and we can see that with the form every time we need it.
Are there any other questions? Assembly Clerk, Wayne? Can you speak in the microphone to the people too?
Hello, can you repeat what the committee is called?
Yes, it's called the C1 Admissions and Registration. So if you guys have any concerns or things you want to talk to us about regarding admissions and registration, reach out to us.
Any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker claims the remainder of time. Thank you so much. All right, I think those are all the guest speakers we are, sorry,
Is it too late for you to jump in the open forum for 2 minutes?
not at all.
Cool. All right. So.
Just one second before you start.
What?
1 second before you start. You ready?
Do I need the microphone or can I just talk?
Microphone, please.
Cool. All right. Can you hear me without it?
You have to turn it on.
I don't think it's on.
Okay.
Take
Is
a
that
second.
working?
Take a second.
Hello? There we go. All right. So as everybody knows, these student government meetings go on for an extended period of time. Sometimes they go on for several hours. I think it's important for us to be efficient with our time. It's something that I know is important to all of you, given the fact that I've now passed around my laptop, and 2/3 of you have signed on to this bill. So I don't know exactly the procedure for submitting this for fast tracking following my speech. But I figured I would read the text to everybody so that we had it, so that you were aware and put it in the Slack. In support of efficiency by capping all student government weekly meetings to 2 hours. Whereas student government serves as the official voice of students at the University of Texas at Austin, and whereas student representatives of the student government have substantial outside commitments beyond student government meetings, and whereas student government meetings consistently include extended discussions which in a repetitive manner issue similar or exactly the same contention, and whereas all university business may be accomplished in a reasonable 2-hour session, and therefore be it resolved, the University of Texas Government Assembly establishes a 2-hour time limit for weekly meetings, and be it further resolved, all meetings henceforth following today shall be set to begin promptly at 7:05 p.m. And be it further resolved, every minute each meeting begins late will be subtracted from the end time for each meeting. For example, a meeting that begins at 7:10 shall end no later than 9 p.m. I'll now open it for any questions.
The chair will claim the remainder of time. Are there any questions for the representative? Representative Balakrishnan.
Where's the bill again?
Say it again.
Where's the bill? I read
I can show it, I can give it to you on my
it.
computer.
Sweet.
I've been passing it around. Yes.
Representative Bailey.
I'm just a little confused. This is not on our agenda for today, correct? So we're not voting on this.
Unless there's a way for me to put it on the agenda, can I motion that in my own bill?
You have to you have to submit legislation.
Because none of us had a chance to read it before now, that's why it has to be sent out with the original.
All right, I mean, I'm happy to send this out for next week. That's why I put in all meetings henceforth. I figure better for us to be efficient with our time. I know everybody has lots of concerns, especially as it gets later in the semester. And that way, by subtracting a minute on the back end, there's an incentive for us to actually get things done, be reasonable with our time, not have extended recesses on bills. Like people can just communicate, be human beings, and it's great.
Representative Getachew.
Representative Getchu, UI. Sorry, could you like further explain the part where you said you take off minutes in the back end? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, so every meeting is set to begin at 7:05 p.m. right now. We're supposed to get here at 7 o'clock. So if we start, and every meeting should end at 9:05 p.m., 2 hours later. If we start at say 7:06, the meeting should be cut at 9:04. If the meeting starts at 7:10, the meeting should be cut at 9 o'clock. That way, it's an extra incentive for us to not be pushing meetings back. Because I know I can speak for myself here at least, like last semester, when we were here until what, like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, debating something that had basically already been resolved, and then quorum was just completely lost, and it just caused chaos for no reason. So if there's a way to avoid that in the future, then it's ideal.
Any other questions? Representative Cuellar.
Representative Lajaso Cola. So I completely sympathize with these meetings taking a long time, because like you said, last semester, I don't think we had a single meeting end on time. But at the same time, don't you think having such an extreme handicap on when we start and finish and stuff like that, don't you think that, oh, one, make it so we can't have guest speakers and things like that, because we're within a time constraint, so it's better to focus on the legislation? Then don't you think that that would also cheapen the quality of debates, since we wouldn't be worried about actually fleshing out the bills, we just be worried about staying on the schedule?
So a couple of things in response to that. First, if I can add something if you want regarding guest speakers for that not to take up the portion of the time. Also, when it's guest speakers every week, maybe it makes things a bit more difficult, but maybe there's a guest speaker cap. I'm happy to send this out on the Slack for people to submit their suggestions accordingly. As far as reasonable debate and conversation, I think like we're able to have those conversations in a meaningful way, either before, during, or after meetings. If something isn't resolved, there's no reason why those discussions can't continue in Slack the following week, to the point that when we get to the next meeting, we're all caught up to date, we're able to have a further discussion. It's just a little bit more onus on us to actually read Slack if there's a discussion. I know that for me personally, I'm terrible about it, so it's onus on me, but yeah.
Representative Bailey.
I think it's good, because we're not voting on the slides, so there's no point in really doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
But if we send something in the Slack, it's not necessarily public, that's the benefit of having things in assembly. Would that affect your decision in any way?
No, because discussions that could be had in Slack are discussions that then are continued in the General Assembly, and those continue the following week. And those discussions can then, those are all public.
Any other questions? This.
I'll stick it in the Slack too, for people to actually read and, like, it can be voted on at a future date. It was just something that came to mind while we were talking earlier, in terms of efficiency, sorry. And now, you know, in not the spirit of that, I'm wasting 5 minutes, so I apologize.
Any other questions? Representative Cuellar.
Representative Lajaso Cola, would you be open to some sort of other mechanism to make sure that we stay on time instead of like a hard cap like this? Because I do agree that it's an issue, but I feel like there's probably something else we can do that's not like.
I'm open to whatever, as long as it's efficient with our time.
Representative Tucson.
Agent is standing white. Have you spoken to anybody in the Rules and Procedures Committee about this?
That's a great question, no. Unless somebody from the Rules and Procedures Committee signed on to this while I was passing around my laptop, which is thank you.
Representative Weiss.
Yeah, so what if we added a clause to it that's like, in case needed, like something really important, we can vote there and then by hand count. to extend
That's
it.
fine, I'll add that period to the Slack. Time's up for me, sir.
Are there any? Are there any other motion? Point of order. Oh,
Are we allowed to extend Q&A time? I thought we weren't anymore.
Q&A time can be extended.
I don't want to, it was just a question, because I thought we weren't allowed.
Yeah. Q&A time can be extended.
Good to go?
Are there any other motions? Okay, thank you so much. I represent. Next slide. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this. All right, quote of the week. When you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. Anonymous. I know we are on week 3 or 4 now, and I know the morale of the assembly is kind of low. I encourage all of y'all just to hang in there. I'm well aware of it. I am trying to look at solutions. I'm working with my assembly board on this. So just hold in there. Help is on the way soon, I hope. All right, next slide. Appointments. So we'll move forward with appointments. We have an LVJ representative that we are appointing today to replace the great Walker Adams, who is now left us. So we'll go ahead and start with that. Is Reeves Mosley here? Yeah. If you want to come up over here. Make sure it's on. Next slide. All right. And you'll have 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
This one we're voting on is just.
No, this person has been appointed by the GPAC.
Okay.
Is it 3 or 2 minutes?
Regular order. Oh.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Sweet, thanks. Hey, everybody, I'll try to keep this brief because I was also in Sydney when I was an undergrad, so I respect y'all's time. So my name is Reese Mosley. I'm from a small town north of Dallas. Originally, I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill for undergrad, where I served in the undergraduate senate. I also served as student body president at UNC, graduated in May of 2021, and then moved up to DC to work for a lobbying firm. So I worked there for a year, then just moved to Austin, just started my first year in the Master of Public Affairs program at LBJ. I'm really excited to serve this capacity. I learned a lot when I was in student government at UNC, and I feel like UNC and UT are pretty comparable institutions as far as, really big institutions, but also really really well ranked academically, really promising students from kind of similar backgrounds, really diverse student bodies, very multifaceted, things like that. And I joined student government because I wanted to be able to kind of make an impact at UNC. I learned a lot when I became student body president. I was elected in February of 2020, and then officially came into office in April of 2020. So as y'all know, it was kind of a circus at that point. So I came in like literally a month after COVID hit and everything. So UNC was actually the first institution in the United States to bring back students for the fall semester. That was also a circus. So it was just kind of balancing a lot of different things with, students who needed help the most from the university, students who needed advocacy, students from different backgrounds who were, underrepresented, students from, marginalized communities, things like that. So there was a lot of representation that needed to be shown and brought to the administration, to the student body as a whole. And that's something that I was really passionate about. I want to be able to use my position here at the LBJ and kind of see what's going on through student government at UT and bring that to LBJ and be able to uplift the voices that I needed most, especially to the administration. I think that's it. I don't know. Yeah. I'd be happy to answer any questions or anything like that. I should be here every week kind of thing. I'm excited to work with y'all and see if we can make UT better.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for the appointee? Representative Weiss?
Representative Weiss, Communications. So I'm curious, what does your role entail if you're getting your master's? Do you have like a special, we have like graduate representatives who also uplift our voices if you get similar vibes?
Sorry, just to make sure that I understand your question, kind of like what is my concentration at LBJ, or like what am I looking to do for this position, or?
I just wasn't aware that master's students could have such an active role in UT student government.
Honestly, me neither. So, but like I'm glad there is. I applied for this position, and the student body president over at LBJ, he kind of explained the position to me. We just kind of decided that it was a pretty good role for me to come in as a first year student. I think there definitely needs to be kind of a bridge. I know at UNC there's a lot of gaps between the undergraduate population and the graduate professional student population. So just kind of connecting and bridging that divide there, but also just showing that there are a lot of similarities. Students at the end of the day, there are a lot of needs both for undergraduates and graduates. So I kind of want to be a little bit in the middle there. So be able to see, what students need the most on the undergraduate side and be able to transfer that to the graduate side, whether that be academic affairs, even sustainability, civic engagement, that kind of stuff.
Are there any other questions? Representative Hancock.
I'm Melanie Hancock, representative from the Cockrell School of Engineering. I really like everything you just said, and I'm actually going to press you a little bit further and ask you how exactly you plan to bridge the gap between the professional and the undergraduate cultures here, because, you know, age and just basically doing what we do throughout the day differs for you widely, so I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a really good question. When I ran for student body president at UTSG, I think the student governments are kind of similar. So the student body president at the University of North Carolina represents undergraduate students and graduate students, but there's an undergraduate student senate and there's a graduate professional student federation, so they're kind of divided in the same way. I think one of the platform points that I initially ran on when I ran for student body president was connecting the undergraduate and graduate student bodies, because, you know, a lot of times graduate and professional students are more aloof. They're not as well engaged. They just kind of want to get their degree, get out of there. Whereas, you know, undergraduate students oftentimes are living on campus. They, you know, they're on campus from 9 to 5 every day. They're really experiencing very directly what's going on at the administrative level. And a lot of times it's the students, the undergraduate students that are at the tables, kind of having the voices that, you know, when something happens or when there's a big administrative decision, the undergraduate students have immediately a say about it. And of course, that's incredibly important, but also graduate professional students also should be those kind of.
I'm sorry, but your time has elapsed.
Okay, so, yeah.
Sorry,
You get the gist where I was going with that.
It should say 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes total, not 5. It was a mistake, but no, time has elapsed. So we'll now move forward with your confirmation as this person. Go ahead. As this person has been appointed by the council, it does not require assembly vote. Chief Justice Mackey, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Mr. Mosley, we can get a party line. Yeah. Okay, Chief Justice Mackey, whenever you're ready.
Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. Just, yeah, but.
She'll tell you, you're doing it.
Oh, okay, got it.
Justice Mackey?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were doing that thing where we swear everyone in at once. All right, so if you can stand, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Reese Mosley,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of LBJ representative
I will faithfully execute the office of LBJ representative,
of the University of Texas at Austin Student Government,
the University of Texas at Austin,
and will, to the best of my ability,
to my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student government.
protect and defend the Constitution of the student government.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you so much and congratulations. Welcome to student government. So now we'll, can you go back one second, please? Go to our next appointment, the second clerk of assembly, Camille Johnson. Hey.
Is this good?
Yep.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Camille Johnson, and I was one of the students who was nominated to take the position as clerk of the Assembly for Student Government. A couple of quick details about myself is that I'm a first-year student. I'm a neuroscience major, so I'm in health sciences. And some background experience that I've had in high school before taking the position. I was in student council for all 4 years as communications coordinator. I served as public relations in Black Student Union for my senior year. I was in National Honor Society, and I also did volunteering with a Dallas judge, the Pro Museum, and other organizations. I wanted to not only officially thank those who selected me with such a responsibility, but I wanted to let everyone here know that as a clerk of the assembly, I plan to be punctual while staying informed on everything that concerns the organization. I also plan on staying on top of my tasks while making sure that we're positively bringing change to the campus. Additionally, I'm happy to know that I'll be assisted by individuals who have experience that can help me grow and provide constructive criticism that I need to finish any task ready. I believe that over everything else, having a willingness to learn is a quality that can take me very far, and I know that I'll be able to do that here. Lastly, I want you all to know that going into this role, I'm excited and prepared to see how far we can go as a team this year. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you.
We'll now move forward with Q&A. Are there any questions for the appointee? Administrative Director James.
Hello, my name is Zion. Doing that. It's like my mechanism. Okay. So quick question. What training besides let me try to word this better. How's your experience in student council? Like, how does it shape you for this position in particular?
For this position in particular, I know it is a little bit different because I was doing a lot of communication stuff, so sending out flyers, mainly directly connecting with the student body, actually having direct access for them or to them. But I do feel like just kind of the overall structure of student government is very similar to the way that we met up in student council, especially in our last 2 years of high school, we all met up. Each different grade level, we also have representatives, and we were able to hear ideas from them. A lot of things were limited by time, so if there were any ideas, there's a certain time period that we have to hear that for, we would have to wait, make sure that everyone's vote was counted. There was a second to that motion, if the vote wants to be continued. So just kind of like overall structure. And also with Black Student Union, I do feel like that helps because a similar situations were caught up in the meeting, especially the unfortunate one with the girl who went missing, but who was, rightfully found alive. Just being a voice for students and also, making sure that the position that I'm going to, I'm not limited to that, and I'm also doing things outside of this or within this role to make sure that, understand.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker will claim the remainder of time. Thank you so much. The chair will entertain a motion. Representative Treeson.
I move to confirm and appoint Camille Johnson as our clerk of the assembly by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Is there any objections? Seeing none, you're appointed. Chief Justice Mackey, Justice Mackey, we're ready to swear in.
Awesome. Stand up, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
One second, we're getting there.
All right, we good?
Yes, we're good.
Awesome. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of, my apologies, what are you being appointed for?
Clerk of Assembly.
Okay, awesome. Of the University of Texas at Austin Student Government.
Of the University of Texas at Austin Student Government.
And will to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student government. Congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone today. We will move forward. Next slide. With representative reports. First up is Representative Bailey.
Hi, Representative Bailey, Liberal Arts. I'll keep this brief. I don't have a lot of updates. Adrian and I are presenting legislation today about recommending that the university return the remains and giving students, telling students how they can best support this movement. We've got a lot of input. It's been really great. I'm super excited to share all that with you. Outside of that, I've been pretty busy with just personal stuff. I think I got fired, but I don't really know, so I'll keep you updated. But yeah, that's been my life recently. That's my update.
Thank you so much. Representative Moore.
Rep Moore, Communications. I'll also keep this brief. I've been working with my college council on the Dean of Students changes, just to see how that affects like Moody specifically. And then we also have a policy roundtable tomorrow, where we're gonna hear input from Moody student voices of what they want to hear, what they want to see change, either academically through Senate or through SG. But other than that, I've also been quite busy. I haven't been to them on Thursday, so wish me luck. But yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you so much. And Representative Holloman.
Howdy, everyone. In regards to student government, I guess this summer, I was glad to work with Representative Pena on a couple issues, including receiving funding for some billboards to advocate for the upcoming election midterms, and also working on a statement for PCT testing to continue that here at UT. I'd like to thank everyone that helped support us with those initiatives. When it comes to what I'm working on, I have probably a decent slate of bills that I think need to be passed this semester. I think we need a strong abortion response in response to some of the abortion bans. We need to increase the minimum wage for UT workers. And I also have ideas for a tuition inflation bill, an I-35 bill, protected bike lane on Guad, and a criminal justice major. So a criminal justice minor. If you guys would like to work with me or have any ideas on these issues, hit me up in the Slack or at Assembly or whenever.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move forward. Next slide. With new business, first up is AR 11 in support of returning Indigenous remains to the Miacan Garza band held by the University of Texas Austin. This is being fast tracked. If the authors and sponsors would like to go up, I'll give them 1 minute to explain why they're fast tracking.
Okay, so we're fast tracking today due to the urgency of the matter. More specifically, there's a prayer walk tomorrow happening in support of returning the remains. We'd like to pass that before the in order to show student government support.
Speaker will claim the remainder of the time. Thank you so much. We'll now begin a 5-minute Q&A for any questions relating to the fast track. Is there any questions? Seeing none, speaker will claim the remainder of the time. Is there any motions on the floor? Representative Collazo.
Representative Collazo, I'm motioning to fast track AR 11 by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Are there any objections? Seeing none, fast track approved. We'll now begin introduction. Go back. Whenever you're ready. 3 minutes. It's up there.
Okay. Hello. So in just a brief summary, this bill is supporting the returning of the remains the University of Texas has in their possession. They rightfully belong to the Miacan Garza band. They are a Native American indigenous group native to Central Texas and some of South Texas. Why is the reason to return? They need to return because in order for them to rest peacefully amongst their people, as their tribers request, they need to be returned to their tribe so they can be buried in the ground properly and not be left in some storage box inside of a UT laboratory. You can show your support by attending the prayer walk, which is tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. I think they're starting at Woodchip Circle and walking from there to the tower. They encourage you all to bring a box, which is symbolizing how the ancestors are trapped inside of these boxes right now. And they also encourage you all to wear red, but the wearing the colors of the box is not required. It still walks, show your support.
To add on to that, the walk is really important. It's being heavily encouraged that as many people who consider themselves allies of this movement show up to this. The biggest thing right now is showing the volume of support for the return of the remains. And then in addition to that, I just wanted to add an emphasis on how important it is as a part of their culture that the ancestors are allowed to return to the earth. It's considered that they are being held in extreme agony, unable to continue on their journey because they are not in their rightful resting place. So obviously, like if you are not part of that culture, don't have an understanding of that, I recommend you look into that further. As a part of this issue, it's really important to recognize that it's a huge part of their culture that they're able to be in their rightful burial place.
Oh, and just to add another piece for clarity, just to let you know, I did contact members of the tribe before I began writing the bill, because I wanted to seek the permission before I started anything. And I did write this bill with the help of students from Native American Indigenous Collective on campus. I want to make sure that I involve as many and these issues as possible.
Nothing, to elaborate on that further, not only did Adrian reach out to them before beginning writing the bill, but they've been involved in the process since then. And everyone had a final say on the bill, had final edits, and knew that it was being presented tonight.
All right, the speaker reclaimed the remainder of the time. Thank you so much. Are there any questions for the representatives? Representative Weiss?
Red Wise Communications, why does UT have remains? Are they storing it in a museum for educational purposes, or what's the vibe?
Right now, we're with the Texas Archaeological Lab, but they're not being used for education purposes at this time, storage.
They were taken for research purposes, and they're being held for potential research purposes. It's kind of a debate of, we want this for potential science exploration versus this is our culture and these are our people. We would like to return them to their rightful place.
Any other questions? Advocacy Director Richards?
Sorry, this is my first time using one of these. I did have a quick question. I know we talked briefly about it. A few tribes nationally recognized have objected to the return of the remains, and I wasn't able to find a reason. And I was just wondering if you could speak on that.
Yeah, so we talked about it briefly. I don't have more information beyond that for you. I have talked to a couple people. The general idea that we spoke about was the Mucum Garza are not federally recognized, which has created a lot of extra limitations. The two groups, do you remember which two groups objected? I can't remember, I'm so sorry.
I know one of them is the Alabama
Coshada and then
Nakata.
Yes, so both of those groups are federally recognized. And so that was a significant part of the objection. I don't have information beyond that, but these remains are not directly related to those tribes, which is why we felt comfortable moving forward.
I can talk more on that as well. This has happened with the same tribe in other colleges. There has been set a precedent of they object, but since they have no claim to the bones themselves, usually it's still given back to the cases like this. I believe the same thing happened at Texas State a few years ago.
And then for clarification, if you did not know, the Mucum Garza are descendants of the Coahuiltecan people, so they are not related to either.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker claimed the remainder of the time. Is there a motion on the floor? Representative Pena?
I make a motion to move the previous question.
Is there a second? Are there any objections? Oh, by unanimous consent, I see. Unanimous consent? Okay, any objections? Seeing none? All right. Any other motions on the floor? Representative Collazo?
Representative Collazo, motion to approve AR 11 by a hand vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor of AR 11, please raise your hand. People on Zoom, please raise your hand. Anyone else on Zoom? I'm sorry, if you, okay, cool. If you were in person, please raise your hand again, I'm sorry. And then, okay, if you're on Zoom, please lower your hand again. If you're in opposition, please raise your hand. Anyone on Zoom in opposition, please raise your hand. Any abstentions? If you're abstaining, please raise your hand in person. Anyone on Zoom abstain? Seeing none, this bill passes 24 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Congratulations to the office. Next slide. Ex officio reports. Is there anyone from GSA Senate here? No? All right, next slide. Dean of Students reports. Is anyone from Dean of Students here? No? Next slide. Executive Board reports. Next slide. To the Advocacy Director.
Everyone, this is my first weekly report, yay. So I went ahead and met with my team, we've met twice now. We did one-on-ones with all the policy directors who have not been confirmed. Just to update everyone, they do have to be confirmed. So that will be coming up, but my third bullet point says we're recruiting for a third health and wellness policy director and then a third civic engagement policy director. So until we have finished recruitment for those two positions, we're not going to move ahead with confirmation, but I'll be reaching out to Kevin about meeting for when we will be doing confirmation once the recruitment process is a little further along. If anybody has any questions about how that recruitment is going along, come talk to me. Basically, we did targeted outreach to all of the DEI orgs. In addition, a few other ones. I think Carrie's numbers like over 100. How many orgs did we reach out to? Okay, it's okay. We can get back to you if you need that. But in addition, we created a form for agencies to report initiatives so that we can offer support to them. And then we encourage you guys to put any assembly initiatives in the folder that we have now, labeled initiatives, just so that we can reach out if we have similar initiatives or working on something in the same vein, so we can kind of coordinate. But the QRs that are up there, one is the initiatives master list, and that just has everything that we're working on at the time, and what kind of are the next steps and what we're working on so far. So if you have any questions or want to hop on any of those, that's the place to find it. And then we've also linked the PD interest form. So if you have anyone, that wants to get involved with SG as a policy director, and you think they might be a good fit for that role, you can go ahead and send them the interest form.
All right, thank you so much. Next slide. Next up is the communications director.
Hey, okay, the exec summer recap doc is gonna be this Friday. Sorry for the delay. We needed to add some extra stuff to that. But it's a very comprehensive document if you want to read it. We're also doing a Hispanic Heritage Month highlight reel kind of thing, featuring members of student government. Obviously, that includes you guys. So if you are of Hispanic heritage and would like to be featured in this promotion throughout the month, please fill out that form in the middle of the slide, and you can be featured. It has some fun questions. My deputy Emery is kind of taking the lead on this project, and she's the constructor for LCA. So she's been compiling a lot of great stuff. And we're putting out posts about what this month means and like cool works to get involved with and whatnot. And I think that will be coming out this week as well. I also met with the LSO advisors with my web developer Isaiah on Wednesday. And basically just as a status update on that, we're currently compiling, I guess, stuff that we want to be featured on the website for all of student government, not just obviously the executive board. So I reached out to Kevin to add some ideas on that document. So if anyone would like to see that document, reach out to me, reach out to Kevin, please access to it. But yeah, they are very open to adding a lot of stuff that we want to put on there, which is really cool. And then I met with Kevin and Marlena on last Friday about how the communications roles between our two sides of SG are going to be working. If you didn't see, Marlena posted an awesome little assembly promo today that we reposted on our story. So we kind of worked out a system about like what exactly both our roles are going to be promoting on our respective accounts. And there's definitely still going to be a ton of collaboration an upliftment of different content, but, yeah, if you want to know more about that, the meeting notes are in my drive. And also graphic requests 7 days in advance once again, and the song at the bottom is a really good song, so thanks, folks.
Next slide. Admin Director. Oh, is it, do I need to update it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Can you read?
It's okay, like, it is me. It's me. Oh, thank you. A little burgundy, guys, also add a little color. Thank you, I'm an artiste. Okay, October 3rd and 4th will be voter registration events, that is going pretty well. I actually have a meeting with the vote tomorrow, so excited. Planning for our agency debrief is going to be on the way. If y'all don't know what the agency debrief is, it's basically going to be like a showcase of the agencies of what they have done, whether that's initiatives, events, or whatever. The date that I have for that, this one's on the calendar, I forgot to put it up there. It's November. It's like as soon as we come back from Thanksgiving break. So if you want to see that, go ahead and look on your social calendar. I would love if you all can come. I know a lot of you are in these agencies, so please come support them as they give as they showcase off what they've done for the fall semester. A task list has been created by myself that will be maintained by my deputy Elena. That's in the drive as well. So if you want to see that, please go ahead and look at it. Just, if you want to just keep up with what admin is doing. That was my team last week. We're basically just overseeing agencies and planning socials at this point. Speaking of socials, hang up and hang out coming up this Monday. Party is the first SG social. It's gonna be on Monday from 7 to 9. So here's the rundown of it because we won't see each other until Monday. So right now, we will depart from the tower at 6:45. So we plan to meet at the tower and we're gonna leave at the tower from 6:45. If you're already on West Campus, please don't walk to the tower, stay on West Campus. It just be a simple address. But if you're like over here, let's say you stay on campus or you're waiting, just come to the tower. We will leave at 6:45. We'll have dinner at 7. Here's the thing, we do plan to do like a no phone policy for the first, not policy, that sounds like for the first 30 minutes, just don't use your phones. We just want to be able to talk, get to know each other, socialize and network, and just become a better family. I feel like this is a great time to like get to know your names. I'm pretty sure we all don't know each other's names like that, but it's good to do that. Then after that, we're gonna finish with ice cream and cookies at Cold Cookie Company, Smiley Face, then depart at 9 to our homes. That QR code is the social calendar, so make sure you scan that. It'll be updated probably with 2 more events, and that's really all. And also Spirit Control by SZA, thank you.
Next slide. Financial Director.
Hey everyone, I'll try to make this quick. That's why I said every week, that's live. So I'm still wrapping up budget stuff. All of our internal emails that went out that requested on, that was internal, we'll be able to send the money after the appropriations went out. Everyone prayed for Sarika's inbox because she's getting like 60 emails tonight. But real quickly, so those are the remaining spending workshop dates. Remember, if you do not attend a spending workshop, you cannot request funds anytime this year. Those are remaining slots and times for those, and it was nice to have a QR code. Next, just like Adrian and Helen, I'm also on a standing committee for faculty council, B1 committee on financial aid students, along with Inbar, Patrick, and my deputy Zara, who's here today. So just a quick update there is our 2 priorities are tackling food insecurities and housing costs. Food insecurity is more of a, it's gonna be more student-led, whereas the housing costs, those numbers are factoring beyond it for a couple of years, with their long-term kind of plan. We'll be discussing more during like our reports, that'll be after me and more get a chance to kind of talk about things. Next, office updates, because we haven't had those yet, because we've just been budget. So my office is divided between our scholarship and development team. For scholarships, our carry on scholarship will be opening Monday, September 26th, and they'll be working on specific outreach, so mass outreach or targeted outreach towards
Can we give the financial director his attention, please?
That's okay. They mess up on them. Next is for development. Central Texas Food Bank has a college food access grant. Both Isabella and Patrick kind of have updates for like both these topics, so I'm going to kind of let them move forward with it. But that's something we're really excited to work on. And And finally, because my team didn't, it's not gonna get confirmed, I did find time to just shout them out real quick, so everyone kind of knows who they are. So for our scholarship team, we have Maya, who was in LA, both me and Kennedy. We have Nina, who's really the shadow master behind Adrian's campaign, really the only one because of her. Sorry, he left, so I'm just gonna just a little bit. Emma, who's one friend of ours, Kate, who was actually in LA with Joe and Avery, and was a former agency director, and then my wonderful deputies are right behind me.
All right, thank you so much. Chief of Staff.
Okay, hopefully I can get everyone's attention when I speak now. All right, awesome. So, post student government new membership recruitment, this last Sunday, we had our third leadership team meeting. Kind of just went over what the timeline's gonna look like from now. So starting from Sunday up until tomorrow, we've been reading applications and have been scoring them. On Thursday, requests for interviews are gonna go out and interviews are gonna start Friday through Sunday. After Sunday, we're gonna do final deliberations with the agency co-directors, and by the 22nd, we're gonna have our new members for student government. So all our agencies will have their new members, which is really exciting. UI faculty appointments, Brian kind of touched on this, but I also sit on the B1 Financial Aid Committee. If you are curious about what those notes look like, you can find them in our Google Drive. I also sit on an additional UI committee, which is the Recreational Sports Committee. Haven't had a meeting yet, that's scheduled for September 27th. But once I conclude with that meeting and have notes available, I will do a report. I also made office hours and my schedule transparent on my Google Drive. This is just a way for me to increase transparency and accessibility. If you need to reach me, we're still handing out shirts. Some of you have not picked up your shirts yet, which is kind of disappointing. Carrie did a really good job on those, so get them before they're all gone. Yeah, they're very nice shirts. Seth has already requested 2 more, so they're flying off the shelves, people. I've also told the rest of the executive board that they should make an office hours and schedule transparent too, just so you know you all are aware and can easily access us. And then finally, our first chief of staff team meeting is this Friday at 6 p.m. It's right in the middle when I'm doing interviews, so if you see me running all over the place and like a nice shirt, I'm not late for a date. I wish I had a date, but don't. I know it's okay. You can shed a tear. It's all right. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I left with this Seinfeld meme. I love Seinfeld. If you don't, probably have no humor or good taste humor, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks.
Okay, so we're running out of time, so let's go through this real quick. We had our first community food distribution last Friday. It was super successful. They won't talk more about that. We're out there for 5 hours. It was great. We also met with Texas Exodus, talked about the Texas Fight Rally, and $1,000 prize towards charity, how SG can collaborate with them because the class rate for athlete contract that we have with them, so we get money from them. And also do an alumni mentorship program and how to uplift the outpost. Leland and I got invited to sit on the DDCE State Advisory Committee, and it's a very diverse group of people who are all doing amazing things all over campus. So if any of you are interested in potentially being on that committee as well, definitely reach out to me. Also, we're meeting with the co-op this week about free or low-cost headshots, so that's great. Meeting with Jim Atkins, the financial director of BPSA, supposed to be this week, probably will be next week because stuff. And also for the executive board, my people deputy who behind me made a weekly action item spreadsheet. It's gonna be in our drive.
Isabel, can you slow down a bit? The clerk is like,
I thought we had like.
you're good. Just slow down.
Anyways,
Slow down a bit.
the spreadsheet will be in the drive. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wait, how much time do I have?
You have 2 minutes.
2? Okay. I hope you all had lots of fun enjoying the Bama game. I was taking my LSAT that day, so you're definitely probably running more than I was. I felt pretty good about it. Thanks for asking. So yeah, like Isabel said, we had the Texas Exit meeting. First monthly community food distribution was a huge success. Thank you to all the reps and everyone that came by throughout the day. And we did have a little feedback form while people came up to the table just to see what they thought about it and what qualitative and quantitative feedback they had. And 95.7% of responses either liked or loved the community food distribution program. We also got a lot of other feedback which will be used for future months. PSAC, hopefully, as mentioned before, internal rep meetings will probably be Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Those still confirming officially with Senate and Student Assembly. Recruitment has been really successful. We got 192 apps in total. And I've been doing a lot of coordination on the back end for that. Like spreadsheet creation, LT scheduling. I just sent out like a lot of G-Cal invites all around leadership team, et cetera, et cetera. UI appointments. The report form is finalized, so if any of y'all are on university-wide committees, just send your updates through that, and those will be like put out in a more standardized way. But thank you to all who are serving on UI committees. Agency rebuild planning, I know some reps were interested in possibly attending, so I'm working on planning that with a couple other people in the exec branch, but we'd love to have reps there. Of course, it is the new members' time, but we would love to have y'all there to help celebrate with them. We're doing check-ins with all the exec board members, September 25th and 29th, just 2-on-1s with Isabel and I. And then this is not specifically my update, but the Students for Democratic Society is having a pro-reproductive justice and rights rally this Thursday at 6 p.m. at Jester Corner, so right on campus. Come on out, it'll be really fun. I'll be there. And you can click the next thing. And I also included the data. So if you're interested in data, that's from the community food distribution. And thank you all so much. I hope you'll all have a great night.
All right, thank you so much. We'll move forward with Assembly Board reports. First up is rules and procedures. Gerald is out today. He won't be here. Does the vice chair have anything?
I'm going to be speaking for, it's just.
Yeah, one second. Does the vice chair have anything? Do you want to announce? Or? No. No, okay, go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine. Shout out to the new, my gosh. Shout out to the newest EOC member, Representative Alexa, I say that. Please familiarize yourself with the attendance policy and student gov point system and reach out to him whenever.
All right, next slide. Academic affairs.
Yeah, our first academic affairs meeting of the semester is this Saturday at noon. If you're in the academic affairs community, make sure to turn on your Slack notifications for updates, and I'm looking forward to it.
Next slide. Financial affairs. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just, this is pointless. I just, DiCaprio, just request money from special projects, fine.
All right, next slide. Governmental affairs.
Governmental affairs, once again, if you're interested in any legislation that's to do with the upcoming lead session, please feel free to reach out to me. Other than that, that's about it.
Next slide, student affairs.
Also not a lot, we do have a meeting time up there, but I've been informed to tell you everyone that it's been postponed. We don't have a meeting time, so literally nothing's changed. Yeah, that's it.
Next slide. Speakers report. First off, I need everyone to, one, pull out their phones and go to Slack. And if you have not filled out the survey that I put out, please fill that out. Please do that right now while I'm talking, because I need some information from y'all so I can better understand how to move forward with our governing documents. So please take that survey. If you are a representative on Slack in the assembly channel, we have 30, so there's like 43 of us. About 75% of the assembly has completed. So yeah, take the anonymous survey. Please follow us on social media on our Twitter and Instagram, same thing, and follow us on our new YouTube. Oh, y'all can't read that, can y'all? Barely? I'm so sorry, not accessible. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Follow us on YouTube, UT Student Government Assembly, where we'll be putting up all of our videos just because we don't want to lose them and they should be more public to the student body. Just some general updates so y'all know what's going on. The National Student Loan Debt Letter will be released likely Thursday or Wednesday tomorrow. So kudos to everyone who worked on that here. Kudos to everyone who worked on that nationally. We're very excited to have that letter go out. First year race begins tomorrow. So the 2 first-year representatives, that campaign begins tomorrow. I would again give kudos to Representative Bailey and everyone who did recruitment on exec and everyone in the assembly. There are over 20 people who are running, and that is a lot. So out of the 20, 2 of them will win. So very excited for that. Just so y'all are aware what's going on, please make sure that you are not endorsing anyone, getting involved in this race in any way. That is a violation of the Constitution, violation of the Student Government Election Code. So please follow that. Endorsements are not allowed. The election bill. So back over the summer, I sent y'all an election bill in the Slack. That bill is going to be scrubbed by myself and Braxton over this week. And we'll give it to DOS for them to start looking at it so that they are not surprised when we bring it up probably next week or the week after. If you look in the Google Drive also, I have released the representative initiative form. So over the summer, I called a lot of y'all, I asked y'all what were your priorities. I kind of logged that down. That is now in a spreadsheet. So if you look in Google Drive in the assembly folder, you'll see that where you can see what people have interest in, and maybe you can work with them to create legislation on the issues that y'all are interested in. I'm still continuing to fill vacancies from the colleges and schools. So of course, today we approved the LBJ representative. Next week, we'll probably be approving the geological sciences school. I'm still continuing to look at that. We have a vacant COLA seat as well now, so we will now need to fill that as well. You'll get an email from me about that shortly, either tonight or tomorrow. UID appointment. We still have the vacant UID appointment from Representative Mosley, who resigned over the summer. That seat will hopefully be filled over. The Assembly Board will meet this Thursday to kind of finalize who you're going to approve. So hopefully that person will also be sworn in on Tuesday as well. Finally, we have a Spotify playlist. I forgot to link it in the Slack, but I will also link that as well so that you all can add songs to that. It's a public Slack, so please feel free to add anything to it. That is, I guess, appropriate for college students. I don't know. Again, fill out the survey if you've not done that already, please. Thank you. Oh, actually, one last thing. Also, I got is anyone? So DOS is not in here. Is there? Yeah. Is there anyone that is just doing a quick poll up? You raise your hand or not? Is there anyone that is not free, or is there anyone free on Sunday at 7 o'clock? Raise your hand. 7 o'clock Sunday. If you are free at Sunday at 7 o'clock, please raise your hand. PM, sorry. 7 p.m. Okay. Okay. I'll do this.
Something good, bad? Do we want to be free Sunday?
Yeah. So I feel like we should talk informally as an assembly regarding the governing documents based off the survey. I think that's very important. And so, okay, we'll try to get a win to meet or something, and we'll try to get the most people. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, no worries. That's all the updates I have. Next slide. Please fill out the representative shout out and fill out the anonymous feedback if there are anything that you want to say. I'll give you a second for that. Next slide. These are mental health resources. Please utilize them if you need them. Next slide. Any announcements? Representative Bailey.
Hi, I'd just like to reiterate, please, if you are free tomorrow, come to the prayer walk. I'm gonna read the information. It starts at 4 p.m. We're meeting at Winship Circle. We're walking to the tower. It goes until 6 p.m. You have a box that you can carry. Please bring it. You can wear red. That would be great. Please come. It is a movement that would love your support. Also, Izzy, to further address your question, they have posted more information since I last talked to you. So please look at the return the remains Instagram.
Any other announcements?
Oh, wait, I forgot I was gonna say something else. Okay, also to elaborate on Kevin's point about first year elections, it has been so wonderful doing the info sessions. These freshmen are so excited about student government. They have such a passion for it, and hopefully after this campaigning season is over, they carry that through and can spread some of that to us. The morale has been low, but their morale is not low. So please get excited with them because it should be good.
Yeah, Representative Bailey. Sorry, Representative Whittington.
Oh, you're a COLA major, you should buy Lizzie. This is what I came to talk about. Here's the real focus. Okay, so I know you have that empty COLA seat now, but your COLA major is gonna be so real. Those people never see not gonna come here. For some reason, the dead look in my eyes after I look at this place isn't very encouraging. So maybe if you know a cola, maybe that's interesting, because I'm gonna see obviously, and we have to pick the person that we send to the place to build MTC, and we're gonna need suggestions, because I mean, it's so much.
All right, and any other announcements from anyone? Okay, I have one more announcement. I would like to say happy birthday to our Assembly Clerk, Melinda. Her birthday was a few days ago, so happy birthday. And next slide. All right, second roll call. Please fill that out if you can. Is there any objection to me closing the attendance form? Next slide. The chair recommends a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Are there any objections? Seeing no more, adjourn. Have a nice day. See you next week.
I think that the bill that they're passing